No mai hara mai, kia ora everybody. Welcome to ORA Bay Chat for this Friday, the 19th of September. Also, no mai hara mai, hoki mai, te wiki o te reo Māori. We're on the last day of Māori Language Week, and I hope you've been growing your kupu over the last 7 days. Big show coming up for you today. As you can see, I am all alone. Uncle Jax is still flat out working. Lots of stuff happening in the referee space. So unfortunately, his day job has taken him away from joining me on Bay Chat today. But we will battle on without him, which means not a lot of chat here. We'll just get through our program. So what have we got coming up? We've got the Northern Regions Under 16s tournament kicks off in Whangarei tomorrow. I'm happy to see the bus pull out of here a short time ago with our BOP Under 16 girls and boys teams on board. So they're on the road heading northward for their Northern Regions tournament that starts tomorrow. Got under 18 girls, although they had a bye last week, they did have a game. We will briefly touch on that, show you the table on where they're currently sitting, and we'll preview their match tomorrow. Under 18 boys had a game last week. We'll talk about that. We will show you their table, and they've got a game tomorrow as well, so we'll highlight that. Move on to the Toa and the Ngāwha. They had the weekend off last week, so we will highlight their matches coming up tomorrow. Then, of course, we move on to the Volcanics, the Steamers, both of their games last week. Have a look at their tables and preview their matches this weekend. And then, of course, we'll finish off with the wonderful Black Ferns, who had their game, their quarterfinal match last week. We'll talk about that. And we may just touch on the All Blacks loss last week, but I'm not a big fan of talking about losses, especially for our beloved All Blacks. So we might talk about that, we might not. Anyway, let's get underway. Under 16s, let's go. BOP have just announced the squad for the Under 16s team. And there it is. It's live on our social media accounts. Jordan Morehu, Ocean Breeze, Wahapango, Shane Thompson, Mere Pounamu Samuels, AJ Tefero, Mackenzie Milham, Marika Ahiri Tafata, Ivana Morris, Isaiah King Hazel, Ariha Lawrence, Tia Swass, Kiana Jade Cullen Takawa, Tasman Kipper, Addison Dawson, Nevaeh Harris, Madison Richards Tefo, Dallas Mairoa, Stevie Mihaka, Presley McGarvey with coaches, and Sky Chisholm, Regan Kingy, Tudahia Farrell, Ingrid Stripling, Kiana Hall, Te Koha Kete Ka Whina, Maddie Ramsden. Team coaches, two lovely gentlemen for Rangatoa, Timothy Gardner and Trevor Billing, and the team managers, Henny Gardner. So, under 16 girls, they're off on their bus, heading northward to Taniwha land. They've got 3 matches coming up in their pool. They will take on Waikato under 16s tomorrow morning at 11:50 a.m. Then they will take on Counties Manukau at 3:05, and then they have their last pool match on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. against Auckland Central West. And the way the under 16 girls competition will play is there are 4 teams in their pool, so they will play 3 pool games, and then the top 2 teams will play off for first and second, and the last 2 teams will play off for third and fourth in their pool. And as you can see here, BOP under 16 girls are in the top pool, listed 1 to 4. Rabs, if you just have a look at the next one, you can see there's another 4 teams in the middle pool, and then of course there's 4 teams in the bottom pool. So that's the under 16 girls. So we wish them all the best. A great 2 days away. They've hit, as I've said, they're on their road now, and they will come home Sunday after their last match. Joining them on the bus is the Bay of Plenty under-16 boys team. Excuse me. Pete Buckton, Isaiah Soini, John Talifo, Mosese Manufetoa, Riley Parks, Jacob Bidwa, Matt Bell, Ollie James, Nicholas Tewake, Zach Keeney, Sam Howe, Zach Simeon, Matt Goodwin, AJ Soper, Hiretona Mikaere, Michael Rogers, Taina Williams, Wesley Lagatule, Timothy Sawa, well done, Rabs, Jet Holdsworth, Chase Taikato Smith, Cruz Conroy, Nate Phillips, and Nate McDonald. Coaches are Matt Black, Jazz Henry, and Henry Kershaw, and team manager Aaron McGarvey. The under-16 boys competition slightly different. There are 8 teams in their pool by the looks. So they will play Taranaki at 10 a.m, followed by counties at 1:15 p.m. And then on Sunday, they will play the hosts, Northland, at 9 a.m. And their last match against Waikato Red will be played at 2:30 p.m. So I'm guessing that it'll simply be a straight sprint, top of the table, win all your games, and you'll win that competition. There they are there, the 5 teams listed in the Tama 2 pool, which is the top 5 teams. And if we flick to the next tab, Rabs, we'll see the next pool has got Waikato Yellow, North Harbour, Waikato Pacific Island Rugby, King Country, and Thames Valley in that bottom pool. So that is the under-16s tournament. Like I said, the last 2-3 years, I think, it's been hosted by the mighty Waikato in Te Awamutu. This time it's Northland's turn to host that tournament, which is being played in Memorial Park and Whangarei. So good luck to Joshua Hyde and all of the team from Northland Rugby who will be hosting that tournament. We wish all the teams the best of luck, and I look forward to bringing you the results of the under-16s tournament next week in Bay Chat. All right, crossing those off the list. Moving on, our Bay of Plenty under-18 girls. They didn't have a competition game last week, but they did travel to Turangi and took on the Wellington under-18s game. I have heard that Wellington did win that match. It wasn't a competition game, but I think the 2 provinces are trying to organise that as an annual fixture, and they meet in the middle. So Turangi hosted the match last weekend. I don't know what the score is. I believe it was quite substantial. And the weather didn't play nicely like it didn't play nicely at the Tauranga Domain. So, but this week, Bay of Plenty under-18 girls are hosting Counties Manukau at Blake Park at 12 p.m. The starting lineup are Greer Vanderbroek, Mission Curran, and Hariru Smith in the front row, Mackenzie Collier and Nele Harris in the engine room, Waiariki Gear, Fern Nixon, and Naishan Tomoilau make up the loose forward trio. That exciting backline that we called a couple of weeks ago at Whakatane Rugby Park, Ripeka Smith, Rev Nahu, Ava Laking on the left wing, Cassidy Murray on the right wing, Aggie McGarvey and Kaya Rihipuku in the centres, with Dylan Guptill at fullback. That game is kicking off. On the bench, Darby Jewell, Miraka Smale Hunch, Jamie Chamberlain, Wairaka Ormsby, Mackenzie Tito, Misty Mika, Manawa Gates, and Jaina Anaru Emery. That game kicks off at Blake Park tomorrow at 12 p.m. Under-18 boys, our boys team are away tomorrow. They're heading to ORA Domain in picturesque Tamaki Makaurau to take on the Auckland Gulls. That game is kicking off at 2:45 tomorrow afternoon. Here's the under-18 boys team list for tomorrow. Declan Kelly, Zach Horan, and Jasper Dobson is your front row. Blake Virez and Cade Coxon in the engine room, loose forward trio, Eli Payton, Cooper Spratley and Jerry Silikoro. The backline to Eddie Mana, Huriwai Edmonds, Jack Wolseley at first five. In the centres, Zeka Jackson and Tau Waru Waititi. On the wings, Luke Rakuraku and Finn Curtis. And fullback will be Tokoa Tua Owen, with coming off the bench Mason Barry, Sam Hill, Zach Richardson, Travis Pitcher, Isaiah Ray Portinen, Nate Handley, and Jacob Cook-Wetter. That game kicking off tomorrow at 2:45 at ORA Domain. Have we got the 18 girls and boys tables there, Raph? Under 18 girls table. There we go. So Bay of Plenty currently sitting on top of the table at the moment with their one win over Waikato a couple of weeks ago. So don't forget, there's only 3 teams in that table at the moment. And the under 18 boys table. Bay of Plenty under 18 boys currently sitting second on that table, just below Auckland Girls, with Waikato below them and Counties Manukau coming up in last place on that table. All right, moving on. Where are we, Rabs? Here we go. Last week, our Bay of Plenty, Ngawha and Toa teams had a bye. So this week, they are both hosting North Harbour across the road here, Blake Park, with the Toa game kicking off on the number 1 field at 12 p.m. And then the Ngawha team is kicking off their match at 2 p.m. Both those games are at Blake Park. We'll just take a quick look at the table as they currently sit, and then you can see the Toa are sitting in 5th place. So this match tomorrow will determine who finishes higher on the table. There's 4th versus 5th. So really looking forward to seeing that match. Both teams currently on 12 points. So the winner of this game will cement themselves in the top 4. And as you can see, the table's pretty close. We take a look at the Ngawha table. Bay of Plenty Ngawha doing really well at the moment. Played 5, won 3, drawn 1, lost 1. So they're second on the table, just below Counties Manukau. And then their opposition for tomorrow is currently sitting in 5th place. That game's kicking off, excuse me, that game's kicking off at 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon here at Blake Park. Rightio, let's have a look at the Volcanics. And last week at the Tauranga Domain, as part of the Bay of Plenty Hawke's Bay double header. Congratulations to our Volcanics ladies, 62 points to 17 over the Hawke's Bay Tui. Fantastic game, had the pleasure of being ground announcer. Girls played really well, some very exciting stuff. And the young lady there holding the ball in the photograph, Kokakoraki, just outstanding in her play in that game last week. And she's been outstanding all year. So, excuse me, the girls are heading to Christchurch. They take on Canterbury, and here you can see the table. That win over the Hawke's Bay Tui last week secures the Volcanics position in the Premiership table for another season. The girls are heading to Canterbury tonight to take on Canterbury on Sky Sports. I think kickoff is at 2:05 at Apollo Project Stadium. Here's the team that's been listed: to Urupau Magabi, Luka Connor and Angel Mulu in the front row. Captain Courageous Natalie Delamere, another positional change back into the locking position with Jessie Wharekura. Loose forward trio was strengthened last week with the return from injury of Tennille Fitzgerald. Te Ihiurora Luka King is at the open side, and Jordan Tiore at number 8. The back line looked exciting last week, and again it has Danny Idihay at halfback with Hope Parata Kingi and ORA Williams playing in their Blazer games tomorrow. So good luck, ladies, in your Blazer game. ORA's joined in the centres by Kōkako Araki, who has been playing outstandingly well all season for the Volcanics. Manawa Rogers and young Asher James from Mount Maunganui College gets her opportunity to start on the edges with Cheyenne Copeland at fullback. On the bench, Alice Watson, Phoenix Red Stars. Ngawiata Tangitu Ranapia is on the bench with Manaya Wharekura, Salam Moata-Ane, Georgia Broughton, Taylor Kingi, and Paikia Cecil. And that was the Volcanics starting list and bench for tomorrow's match against Canterbury, which kicks off at 2:05 at Apollo Projects Stadium. Moving on to the Steamers last week. Another one of those lovely 100-minute games of extra time, golden point extra time. Steamers haven't done well at playing in extra time. 21 all after 80 minutes, and then 6 minutes of defending before the Hawke's Bay Magpies stole it with a drop goal in extra time. So that match puts the Steamers in 6th place with 21 points, still in the top 8, still looking for a quarterfinal spot. But we head to Palmerston North this weekend to take on Manawatu. Here's your starting lineup. Tavita Mafaleo, fresh from All Black duty. Captain Kurt Eklund at hooker with Basilia Tossi, also from All Blacks duty. Our engine room, Naitoa Akoi, Jai Knight. Loose forward trio, Jacob Norris, Joe Johnston, Nico de Broughton. Charlie Sinton's getting his start for the year with Lucas Cashmore at first 5. In the centres, Seamus Bardo and Lalomelo shore up the midfield with Fihi Whinianganoho returning from injury and Kelly Lasanga on the right wing with Cole Forbes at fullback. Shiona Tupo, Josh Bartlett, Felipe Vakasiola, Isaka Vakasiola, Vivini Lasanga, Keys Kolosi, Tane, Craig Ranga, and Tamil Armstrong, the final 23. So that game is kicking off on Sunday in Palmerston North. And if you're not heading down there, you'll be able to catch that match live on Sky Sport. We're nearly done for the show for today. Just a quick chat about the Black Ferns. What a magnificent quarterfinal win they had last week over South Africa. 10-all at halftime. I'd say there would have been a few nervous people around the country after having watched the All Blacks display. But then within the blink of an eye in that second half, 3 quick tries and suddenly with 30-odd points ahead. So congratulations to the Black Ferns. 47 to South Africa in that quarterfinal, and tomorrow I'm sure you'll all be joining me as we get up and watch the Black Ferns take on Canada in this semi-final. There's a couple of Bay of Plenty lasses in this team. Stacey Walker in her traditional centre position, and of course one of my favourite players, Kate Henwood, on the bench as a reserve front row. And I suppose we do need to talk about the All Blacks match last week. Oh, well, there are the results from the Rugby Championship. The Wallabies went down to Argentina 28 points to 26. And as a one-eyed All Black supporter, I find it very difficult to even think about All Black losses, let alone talk about them. But 43 points to 12 or whatever it was. Yeah, I've already put that out. There's the table. It's still anybody's game, which I suppose is exciting for rugby, that not one team is way out in front. Everybody's beating anybody at the moment, so this competition is all up for grabs. They've all got a weekend off before we take on the Wallabies next week, and Argentina head to South Africa. So that's the show for today. Really excited. There's lots of quality rugby happening around here. There's 3 games on at Blake Park tomorrow. So if you've got nothing to do and you need an excuse to get out of the house and avoid some spring cleaning chores, then pop on down to Blake Park and get yourself a seat in the grandstands to watch the tour Napa, or even the under 18 girls who are also playing there as well. Anyway, that's us for now. Take care. See you all next week. No ora mai, people.